Hi. Their audio. Wait. Now, the audio listener is getting a little bit of a different intro than what you are, Mr. Video Watcher. So we're not going to have the typical, on this episode, I'm going to talk about this and this. I'm just going to get straight into it. So if you want to see or want to hear what the audio listener is getting, you can use one of the links below, hopefully, and go and listen to that. But anyway, let's get into the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Luke Who's Talking podcast with me, Luke. It's episode 71. Oh, yeah. How about that intro? Hilarious. But it's okay. Anyway, now let's just let's get straight into things. Now, everybody has that family member, auntie or whatever. In my case, auntie, that you're sort of like, you're not too keen on them because they're a little bit annoying. Now, yeah, a couple of weeks ago, my version of this came over. And, that's fine. However, it is how they decided to make their presence known. How they started their visit. Okay? So any normal person, you'd assume, would knock on your front door, wait for you to go and answer it, then enter the house, because you'd be like, oh, come in. Wrong. Absolutely wrong in this case. Said auntie just straight into the house, straight in, making a scene, and you're like, whoops, sorry, hitting things. Jazz hands are going wild here. Yeah. Just, it's like, what are you doing? Why have you just walked straight in there? It's like, oh, your door's not locked. Oh. I was like, well, usually you only lock your door when you're not home or at night, maybe. I've got a yawn or something. Ooh. Wow, that was a aborted yearn, aborted. I can't even say it. Anyway. Yeah, so auntie's this particular aunt, straight into the house, and we're like, what are you doing? Why? Just wait. Maybe I should go to their house and just walk straight in and be like, oh, your door's not locked. And get this, if that wasn't enough, just walking straight into the house. Complained about, nobody comes to visit me, blah, blah, blah. Complained about other family members. Now, get this. One of our other family members, I don't know if they still do, but they at least used to be a hairdresser. I think they might, I don't know if they still do or not, but they used to, and then they sort of retired from that, and they works at one of the utilities, and I think they may have been doing just a couple of jobs on the side. Right? I don't know, I haven't cut my hair for ages. However, particular person was like, oh, I don't know what I've done to, said cousin. They used to cut my hair, blah, blah, blah. Right? So not too thrilled that, I called him, I haven't got back to me, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, it's reasonably fair a grievance. And then, all right, then they were like, oh, yeah, 3 years ago. And I thought, yeah, you can't be serious. You cannot be serious. They were like, oh, yeah, you used to cut me. Oh, no, no, you called, whatever. And they're like, oh, yeah, this was like 3 years ago. And I thought, you're having a laugh. You're absolutely having a laugh at that. You cannot be serious. 3 years ago. You're like, oh, yeah, they used to do this, and now they don't anymore, and it's been 3 years. And I thought, oh, God, yeah, right. Anyway. So, annoying aunties. You got one? I'm sure you do. Let's go to the next story. welcome. I always say welcome back, like you haven't actually been anywhere. Well, maybe you have. Maybe you've been to the shop, but you haven't left me. Anyway, whatever. Let's get into the next story. So the other, when was this? Last week before? I don't know. When I say like the other day or whatever, that basically could be anywhere between literally yesterday or like 3 weeks ago, whatever. Anyway, but recently, there we go. I could say that recently. So as you'll know, and I'll show this to the video watcher, if you can actually see this here, this I have an insulin pump because I'm a diabetes, so that's fine. It's really good. Now, I had a bit of a problem with my pump the other day. Now, keep in mind, this piece of equipment is not cheap. I think they're around $8,000-9,000. Okay, I don't pay anything for mine because of healthcare. How's that for a zinger? But yeah, look, they're quite expensive, but I got mine through various reasons. Actually, this is the second one I've had. I had one for 4 years. They have about 4-year lifespan, then you get an upgrade. So I've had this particular, well, actually I haven't had this particular one, but this particular model I've had for about a year. So it's the updated model, you can do some more jazzy things with it. Cool. Anyway, that's fine. So the other day, I went to change the battery because it gives you a warning. It says, the battery's going flat. You have so long, your battery's going flat. And you're like, okay. And then what will happen a few hours later, it'll give you a warning saying you've got half an hour to change your battery. Otherwise, like your pump will shut down. So I thought, so when I got the second alarm, I was actually not at home at the time, but I took a battery with me because I knew I'd need one. So I changed the battery, put a new battery in, nothing, still giving me warnings. So I thought, so where I was, I raided like every mouse, every crevice, looked everywhere I thought for a battery, tried various batteries, and it was like, yeah, so it's still going to shut down on you. And I thought, well, that's a problem. Now, luckily, Kmart is open 24/7, 24 hours a day, Kmart. So it was about, I don't know, 10:30, 11-ish maybe. So where I was, I drove to Kmart, which was pretty close, bought a packet of batteries, new batteries, and I didn't get the crappy Kmart brand. I got good Energizer ones. Put a new, fresh Energizer battery in. Nothing happened. So I thought, okay. Luckily, I have my diabetic nurse, or my educator, helper, person, lady. I have their phone number. So I sent them a text and I said, the pumps told me I need a new battery. I've put a new battery in, not working. Why? And you see, the pumps, my old pump and the new pump, they are basically the same. It's just the software that is a little bit different. So the new one can do a few extra tricks. So I'd never had this problem 4 years or so of having the old pump, which is pretty much the same. And now like, ooh, now on the battery cap, there's a little bit of brass on there. So what happens? You put the battery in, there's a spring in the bottom of the battery compartment, and then you put the cap on top, screw it, and then it contacts with that bit of brass, bit of metal that's underneath the battery cap to power the device. They were like, oh, has that fallen off? No, it hadn't. They were stumped. Anyway, so what I did is I got home and I still have my old pump, so I got that going just to get me through the night. Anyway, that's fine. So the next day what I did is I got a little bit of foil, and actually my educator said, how about you try this? So I got a little bit of foil, put it on top of the battery, and then put the battery cap back on, and the pump worked. Anyway, what I did the other day, or last week, I actually did this thing last week, and I called the manufacturer of the pump, and they asked me all the troubleshooting questions, and I was like, the pump's not working. And I'm like, well, what do you reckon the problem is? My thought was the spring in the bottom of the battery cavity has maybe squashed a little bit, so it's not quite pushing the battery up hard enough onto that contact on the battery cap. So anyway, but long story short, I got a new pump. So this pump here, as the video watcher can see, I set this up on the weekend, and it is now Tuesday. So I've had this pump for a few days. So the old pump's been sent back. But, yeah, I got that sorted, which was good indeedy. Yeah, so, but I was like a, $8,000-9,000 piece of equipment, basically, compromised simply by the battery not contacting properly in the battery compartment and being solved by a piece of foil. Oh, that's great, isn't it? That's great. Anyway, let's get into the last, the last little thing for you. And this happened, this might have happened actually Thursday last week. So anyway, let's get into it. Welcome back. Everything's happening. Battery's going low on the phone. We'll get rid of that. Yeah. So, and something's happened on Twitter as well. I don't know. I'll have a look at that in the mojo. And actually, I'll get into something about that too very soon. So, yeah, last week, just a quick little thing. I was reversing out of a driveway, and the street was clear, no problem. So I just went back the driveway. So I was sort of like blocking the road while I put the car in the forward go and then turned, to get going. Anyway, so as I was in the motion of getting the car prepped, ready, or changing gear to go forward, there was a motorbike come around the corner, and it was like just nothing flashed, like a little postie bike or one of those little Hondas or something, somebody on it. And so I just reversed out and I'd stopped. They came around the corner and I was getting the car, putting it in to go forward. Yeah, putting it in first. And this person on this bike, I reckon I was in the road for maybe, 10 seconds. And they were like honking me, like meep. And I just thought, what's your problem? Can't you wait, 2 minutes? Not even that long. Can't you wait like 20 seconds for me to get the car in the first or back into drive? It's an automatic, so car back into drive. And then all I just had to do was like turn my wheel to the right and then mild acceleration. And they probably have actually got past behind me anyway, because it's not like I have a huge car. It's got to be taking up the whole street. But, yeah, apparently they couldn't wait. They were impatient. Somebody's calling me. I don't know that number. Anyway. Yeah, and I just thought, can't you just wait? Just wait a moment for me. I don't know where they were eager to get to. And then I thought I should have just parked in the road and just waited there for 2 minutes. That would have got them fired up. Anyway, whatever. So just like patience on the road. Why don't you just wait? My goodness gracious me. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Well, that is it, everybody, for this episode of the podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Now, just something quickly. I am changing a couple of things on the Twitter. So the Twitter handle is still going to be @L_who's talking. However, I'm just going to change the name thing to like Luke Who's, and it's going to put a different banner on there. I wanted to change the Twitter to Luke Who's, but I can't have L_who's. I can't have Luke _who's. I can have Luke Who's 1. And I was like, I don't want that. So I'll just keep the handle as it is, and just change other things, because I want to have like a bit of a central hub, as it were, for all the various things. So I'll set it up so the the vlog gets shared there, like the YouTube videos get shared there. And the new podcast, which will be coming in May. I've decided I'm going to launch a new podcast in May. So a few weeks, and there'll be I'll have a second podcast. So I want just like one social media. So the Facebook page is gone. Unpublished. It's still there. It's unpublished, but we're not going to be using that anymore. So, yeah, that's just what's going on with that. Anyway, look, you can send me an email, lukewho'stalkingpod@gmail.com. And yeah, of course, we're on the Twitter still at L_who's talking. So I'll see you next time. Well, you'll hear me next time. Have a great day, everybody. I'm going to sort out what's going on. Who was calling me? The phone's cooked. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.